Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I just want to share with you guys what film recipe I use for my portraits. I've been getting a lot of questions like this. It's been getting harder to answer the same question over and over and over and over and over again. And in today's video, I just thought to, answer this question for you guys once and for all. And that way there's a dedicated video on this that you guys can refer back to. Lately, I would say that I've been post-processing my photos a bit more just because I have to test out, the raw files from the cameras that I am reviewing. But before that, I was honestly editing on Fujifilm's JPEG, like straight out of camera JPEGs. And I would say that I would only edit a raw file if I am in a high contrast situation, because I know that editing the raws can help save me details in my shot. But if it's a scene where everything looks perfectly balanced and everything looks good on the back of the camera, I would use the film recipe straight out of camera JPEG to edit on. It would just be minor tweakings like a contrast bump, a color bump, or skin retouching if needed. Let's just start with my favorite film recipe of all times. This has been around for a couple of years now. This is honestly my general purpose film recipe because it just works with everything. This is the Nostalgic Negative Film Recipe by Joe D'Agostino. This has been my go-to film recipe that I've used on my XS10, my X100V when I used to own it, the X-T4, the XH2S, and now the X-T5. Whenever I'm buying a new camera, this is the one that I'm putting in first as my custom setting one. This is the film recipe. And I'll leave the film recipe right here for you guys on the screen if you guys wanted to check it out right here. And the reason why I use this film recipe is because it provides me with a good look straight out of camera. It looks very great for portraits because of the skin tones. I think it provides a warm, pleasing color to the skin. If you ever see me post a shot that is straight out of camera JPEG, chances are it is likely going to be this film recipe right here. This is really my general purpose film recipe. It's great for my needs. I do portraits and documenting my travels, landscape, street stuff, you name it. I'm going to use this film recipe. I love the warmth that this film recipe gives, and I also love how the green looks in this film recipe. It doesn't look like the yellowish pukey green that you see on Sony cameras. The greens are rich and deep, and this is why I like this film recipe for my travels. If you want a film recipe that does it all, check out the Nostalgic Negative Film Recipe by Joe D'Agostino. Now, this would be my second favorite film recipe, the Kodachrome 64. What I like about this film recipe is how good it looks during the winter months in Toronto. It sort of gave this grungy feel to it whenever I was shooting downtown Toronto, and I personally love that look. So if you're ever in a big-ass cold city, I would definitely check out this film recipe because of the vibe that it gives. The way I shoot, it gives like a heavy contrast, and I love the muted colors that it gives as well. There is something gritty about the way my images look when I'm using this film recipe. It's also good for portraits, and overall, I'm a big fan.
Oh, yeah. Take me high, yeah. Take me higher than I have reached in heaven before. Come on. Take me high.
Go to Kodak Tri-X 400. Now, this is a black and white film recipe. I don't shoot with black and white as often as I would like. I do appreciate a good black and white photo. To me, a black and white photo looks timeless. It looks moody. It has the emotions. And when you strip away the colors on the photos, you are left to look at the contrast of the photo. I tried a couple of black and white film recipes, but I love this one the most. Why I love this film recipe so much is because every time I take a photo, it just turns out looking very, very good, very, very nice. I love the film grain. I love how gritty it looks and feels. To me, a photo is supposed to make you feel something. You're supposed to be moved when you looked at an image, and I think emotions comes first. And every time I shot with this film recipe, it made me feel all different types of ways. It's a great film recipe. and it's one that I program onto my custom functions when the occasion arises. This film recipe is good for basically everything. I would use this on a high contrast situation. I use this when I find that the colors that I'm working with don't really work well together, so making it black and white is a solution that helps focuses the viewer's eyes into something that is not, distracting like colors. I don't use this film recipe often because I find that it leans towards the green tint, but I do like the look of it. I don't know how close it looks to the actual Portra 400 film stock, but when I'm using it, I really love the way the images look. Whereas the Kodachrome and the Tri-X can give you a gritty and darker tone, when I shoot with the Portra 400, the images sort of uplifts you in a way. Now, I think that could be because of the color palette that this film recipe provides. Every time I shot with it, it was a bright day, it was a hot and summer day, and I think that could play a part in it. I find that shooting with this film recipe in the wintertime doesn't give you the same impact. I photographed some of my friends on this film recipe during a hot summer's day in Toronto, and I just thought it was such a beautiful film recipe to work with. Especially when golden hour hits too. Like, my God, it's like really, really pretty. Alrighty folks, there you have it. These are some of my favorite film recipes that I use. I think these are great for portraits, as you can see from this video. But I have to say this though, although film recipes are great for lazy people, if you really want to stand out from the crowd, then I recommend you guys still finding your own style by editing RAWs or even editing these JPEGs and try to make it your own. Otherwise, you're going to be shooting the same film recipes as everybody else. But hey, if you're just lazy and you honestly love how these film recipe looks by itself, because they do look really, really good on its own without any tweaking. That's my spiel on the film recipe. I personally use film recipes when I'm lazy and when I don't want to put much effort into it. So, but if you want to stand out, find your own style. But yeah, what are some of your favorite film recipes that you guys use on your portraits? Any recommendations that I should check out? Let me know in the comments below. And if you find this video helpful, consider subscribing to my channel where I do talk about Fujifilm and photography related things on this channel. As always, my name is Tongue, and I'll see you in the next video. I love you.